Hi there, this is Paul Murphy. So if you just check your email, you'll find the links to 60 days free for WebinarJam, and that's for live webinars. And then you've got 60 days free for EverWebinar, which is you turn your live webinar, you just switch it straight over, and you will run auto webinars to your offers, right? So you run an evergreen offer. So make sure you grab those straight away because those are not going to be around forever, right? So get in on those straight away, check your email, and they'll be there. Now, what I've got for you right now is Russell Brunson. He's the owner of ClickFunnels, Creative ClickFunnels. He's developed this like unbelievably amazing, perfect webinar script. Right, we use it in our business. We've got like over 150 clients who are all using it. It like knocks it out of the park on everything. Like it's kind of like there isn't anything out there that competes with it, right? And at the moment, Russell's giving it away for $5. Well, he's giving it away for free, but you have to pay the shipping, right? So it's under $5. So I've put a link down below. You can grab that and get that. But what I want to actually do is show you before you do that so that you can actually see what it is and how well it's working for everyone, right? So if we just go into my keynote. So I'm just going to talk you through some of the scripts, right? Okay. And if you don't want to pay Russell Brunson $5, you can just kind of copy some of this. So I just had to change my mic setting because it was a little bit too loud. So I'm not going to talk through all of this. I'm just going to go through everything and actually show you how powerful this script is before you go and purchase it, just so you can get an idea of what it is the script does and how great it is, and some of the things in there that are like so magnetic that make people buy. And it works in literally any offer. Like I said, we've got like 150 clients that are using it, and they are absolutely killing it out of the park. And I've got umpteen testimonials which I can show you if you really want to see those, because I'm getting letters all the time from my customers saying how amazing this stuff is, right? So first of all, you would go through and you tell them what your offer is. You tell them what your goal is for the webinar. If you stay to the end, now this is really good. Obviously, if you stay to the end, you're going to give them a bonus. That's really good because if you offer something for them to stay to the end, the ones who get bored will actually stick it out, and that's when you make the sale at the end, right? So what makes a difference? What makes this different? And then you would, always say, look, you've seen a ton of webinars, you've seen this, that, and the other, but I'm going to show you some training today. You want to hook them in at the start, right? You want to make sure that they're kind of engaged. So, this is kind of your pre-sell of the webinar. You're telling them why this is better than all the others. And then you're going to give them a brief bio. Now, one thing here very quickly I'm going to just go through is that when you do your bio, a lot of people say I was poor and I was this and I was that, which is great, but make sure it serves a purpose. Make sure that your bio, if you were poor and you're selling something that's going to make them rich, that you've learned, then it kind of makes sense, right? But if you're poor and you're just selling them, some cool sunshades or something, I don't know, some e-commerce product that is not relevant to you being poor, then don't do it. And I've seen people actually do this, and it just wastes people time, and it wastes your time as well. It's everything in this, it's got to be structured to serve a purpose, right? So just be aware of that as I go through the slides, that everything you put in here, you just got to be thinking, is it serving a purpose for the sale or for the presentation? And sometimes you won't necessarily be selling something. You might be asking someone to get on the phone. But, again, you can use the same script for that. You can use this script for anything where you're offering something at the end. And it doesn't have to always be something for money, but something that you want a result, right? You can use this for. So, you could say, show authenticity, say that you've done stuff wrong in the past, and you can give some examples of stuff that you've done wrong, because people want to feel like you, right? They want to know that they're the same as you. They don't want to feel like you're some guru out there that's untouchable. They won't buy from you because they'll just think, well, you know how to do this, but I'm never going to learn, right? And so you explain to them that what you discovered and how you learned this new system that you're going to show them, and you would say, I did this the hard way, etc., etc. And I'm just going to go forward, and then obviously you'd offer what you're going to show in the training. So you're going to give them some really valuable training. Now, people, some people are getting slightly fed up with webinars, right? And the reason they're doing that is because a lot of these webinars are not giving you anything, and they're just offering for a sale. One, you're not going to make the sale, and two, it's not authentic. It's just a pitch, right? Everyone knows everyone's out there to make money. Everyone's putting their time in. No, people are not stupid. But the more stuff that you can give them on the webinar so that they can go away and do that with or without the sale, the more you're going to make the sale. Because if I told you something really secret about how to get 1,000 subscribers, right? If I told you something really amazing on that webinar, at the end of it, when I'm selling you something that's got a bit more for a price, if I've hit a light bulb in your head, you're going to buy, right? So just be aware of that. Don't just come out with a load of nonsense secrets like, oh yeah, I this secret does this and does that, and if you buy my course, I'll show you. No, you're going to show them. You're going to show them these 3 secrets. Okay, so you get through the 3 secrets, and then you're going to have some case studies. So again, you're building social proof. You're building that proof. Now, if you don't have any testimonials, that's fine, but don't lie, but be authentic. Obviously, say, look, this is what happened for this customer, this is what happened for this customer, this is what happened for this customer, okay? And, I mean, I've got quite a few testimonials in my business, but I do have a lot of customers that are slightly shy. And because they don't want people taking their business, right, they're advertising online, and we run funnels. Some of my customers will give me a testimonial, but they don't really want me using that much. So what I do in that case is I make sure it's authentic, but I don't give the surname, and I don't give, and you can do that and it will work, okay? It's not quite as powerful, but I promise you it does work, okay? And then you would go through, once you've been through some secrets and you've showed them some training, you would then just reiterate, have you got the value out of this? And then what they will say is that, you're on live webinars, obviously you'd have a chat box, or you should have a chat box. On that chat box, you're going to get the gold here, right? This is the absolute gold that you need, right? So wouldn't you agree that it's been time spent well spent so far? So you could say to them, let them know in the box, have you got value? And then people will say, yeah, but I didn't understand this, I didn't understand that. And then what you do is the next webinar, you tweak and you put it in, right? So you're getting the information so that you can keep adapting your webinar. So this is really, really vital, and also it gives you that engagement. So you want engagement throughout your webinar. You've heard them say press 3 if this, press 3 if that, press 7 if that. That keeps people engaged. It keeps people talking. People like to be part of something, right? They don't like to be passively learning. So this is really good, again, to get that engagement back from your customer. Okay, so you would then sort of say, oh, old habits die hard. You'll be thrilled, with what I've got in store for you. And then you're going to start your pitch for your offer. So your first half of your webinar is going to be, all of your training. Okay. Now, what you're going to start with is the stack. Now, this is, if you use this right, this is the thing that sells your webinar, right? And I'm going to give you some gold here now. That a lot of people use this stack wrong. Okay, it still sells anyway because it always, it's so clever how it's done. But what you've got to really think is that when you do this, so the first thing you're going to get is this, and it's worth this much value, right? So the first thing you're going to get is I'm going to show you the blueprint on how I go out and get customers every single day for free, right? So going by what I said to you earlier about getting 1,000 email subscribers without any paid advertising. So I'm going to show you the blueprint. I'm going to talk you through this, and this. And that's a value of 1497. Well, it may well be, or it may well not be, right? But what you want to do here, okay, and a lot of people miss this part, is you've got to justify it to yourself, and you've got to justify it to your customer why it's worth 1497. So I would always say to them, first of all, you've got to be real here. You've got to say, is it really worth that? And everything's value is always valued by its desired outcome. So if it's worth 1497, is it going to deliver double or triple that or 10x that? That's the key here. So it's worth 1497 because if you get 2 customers from this method at $100 a day, right? Or if you just get if you get 100 email subscribers a day and you just get 1 customer a day at $100 for your ticket for your item, for your $100 item. So if you just make $100 a day, and then you can say to them, is it sound feasible that you could get 100 email subscribers and just make 1 sale per day? And that's getting 100 email subscribers per day, but you're still only getting one sale per day at $100. Is that feasible? And then people will go, yeah, okay, that makes sense, right? And so at the end of the day, if I sold you that system for $1,497 and it was making you $100 a day, would it be worth it? And then you're giving them a little bit of a task. So in their head, they're going to do 100 on their calculator, 100 times 365, so that's 36,000. Yeah, definitely. And that's just your first thing, right? You've already built that kind of into their brain. And then you go through all the others. So each one of these things, and then you've got that total value at the bottom. And instead of that total value at the bottom being worthless, that total value at the bottom of all the things that this is going to offer is going to be totally feasible. And you're not even going to be selling it at this price, right? This is kind of the value price before you then knock it right down and sell it at the actual price. But you want this stack to be totally solidified in their brain that they're actually definitely going to be getting all that, right? So that's the key to that. And then you can sort of give again some more testimonials who this works for, and then you give them the two choices. You say, look, you've got go away, don't do anything, or you've got your second choice, which requires a bit more investment, right? And obviously, there's two choices here. You can do this two ways. The way he's put it on here is that you could say to them, I had two choices, right? You also give them two choices. You say, look, you can do nothing, or you can take the system and kill it out of the park. And then you give another testimonial, and then you would go back to the stack. Okay, so you're bringing them back in, getting them ready to buy. And what happens at this stage, right? And my customers are telling me this all the time. People are saying, just take my money. Just take my money. I'm ready. They're so charged up in their brain that they're like, they want to get it before you talk them out of it, And honestly, this is so key. This is so cool. So once you get this bit right, they're begging you now. They've got their card, right? But then you get to the next bit, okay? You're basically adding sugar to your cake, right? This is going to make it so cool. So the next one is your bonus one. So now if you sign up today, I've got a special bonus for you just for being on this webinar, okay? And that's going to be this value. And again, make sure the value, if you put a value in, justify it in their brain, not just yours, right? And then your bonus 2, you've got this value, okay? So, or you might only have one, you might have two, but that's up to you. And then you go back to the stack again, right? So you're revisiting the stack 3 times, and you're adding bonuses. So it's now got this, right? So that's the next thing. And then what you then do now is you've already built that trust. They've got their credit card out. They're itching to buy. But now some of them are going to have these little questions going around their head. But I didn't fully understand that. I don't know about this. I don't know about that. And what you need to do is you need to answer those questions. So my example here is that if you go into a shoe shop, for instance, you'll buy a pair of shoes at your level of comfortability in your head. But if you want to buy a more expensive pair of shoes, you'll make the sale to yourself. Okay, the salesman might try and make the sale, but at the end of the day, you're going to make that sale to yourself. And the way you do this is you'll go in and you'll say, well, I wanted to spend £40 on $40 on a pair of shoes. These are $80 or $100. Okay, but there's part of your brain that just wants them, right? You just want them. So what you have to do is you won't just buy them without thinking anything else. You'll just say to yourself, yeah, but they look really good at this party. Oh yeah, but I always buy nice sensible shoes, and I've got plenty of those, but I need a pair for going out in. Or I think my wife would really like these. And that's all it takes, right? Just one little thought, one little thing in your head, and bang, you'll buy them. Right, and the thing is that you've already decided to buy them, but you just need to justify it. And what you're doing here is the same system. They've already decided to buy it. You're just justifying it to them. So if all this did was make you $100 a day, would it be worth it? If all this did was grow your mailing list so that you could, offer joint venture webinars, even if you didn't make any sales, you could do joint ventures and make $20,000 a sale. Would it be worth it? If all it did was, and you just keep adding things, you just think about the outcome, and you just think of everything that it's going to deliver for them. You're answering their questions, right? And what you can do here as well, as you run, if you run this webinar, a few live webinars, using the questions you can put in, once you've answered those questions, you can then put that gold back in here. So you know that it's going to do this, you know it's going to do that, because people have been asking you the questions, and you've spoken to your audience, and you've spoken to your customers and said, yeah, it does deliver that, it does, and you put it in here, right? So that's why it's so vital to get that feedback as you're going through the webinar. So, and then what's it worth to you? You can see why other people are paying me this for this service. So, you know, at the end of the day, you're not overvaluing it, you're just explaining to them that this is a deal, right? And then you would just go through what the price is today, and you can see what's a good deal, and then you kind of reiterate. You might even add an extra bonus in, right? At this stage, you've given them the button, they're ready to buy. There's a few people on the fence, right? There's always going to be a few people on the fence. You're never going to sell 100% on a webinar. That's absolutely almost unheard of. You can get quite high. So you're going to have a few people that are going to be sitting around thinking, yeah, okay, maybe. So you want to add a bit more. So another bonus. Okay, well, do you know what? For the first 20 people, I'm going to offer this, okay? And it's $9.97 a day. Now you have two choices, okay? So this is the bit where you have two choices: do nothing, or or become a rock star. And then now the 30-day money back guarantee. Now I always offer this on anything where it's a digital product that I can kind of resell. So it doesn't cost me anything when I'm selling it. Obviously, if they buy it, they can get a refund. Now, the good thing about this is obviously you want to back up your product, and you want your customer to know you're backing up your product. Believe it or not, as long as it delivers what you've promised, they will not, there's not going to be that many people who get refunds, okay? There are a few refund junkies out there, and you can't avoid them, right? But actually, it's quite low compared to what you're going to sell. And to be honest, if you don't have this refund guarantee, right, and you do, the more that you sell will actually outweigh the refunds. So you just got to think of it like that. If you sell an extra 5 because you've got this in, you'll only get 1 or 2 of those as refunds. So you're still made free. So just think about it like that. If you're offering a lot of your time and service and stuff like that, then be careful with that, because obviously you don't want to be spending lots and lots of your own personal time with that person. Or if you're selling physical products, obviously you have to offer a guarantee on the physical product anyway, to a certain extent, if it's damaged. But you just want to be careful on that. On that side of things. But if it's a digital product, then yes, 100%, I would recommend you offer that. And okay, and then you're gonna hit them with it. You're gonna say, look, the real question is it worth gambling a few minutes of your time to check this out? Which, if it only does half of what I've claimed today on this webinar, it will pay for itself, right? So, then you've got a few more slides, and then you go back to the stack, and then what I would do is I would then go to a Q&A. So he hasn't put this in here, but definitely always have a Q&A. Give them about 5 or 10 minutes at the end where you're answering their questions, and you're giving people a chance to sign up while you're live. People will always take more action when you're live, right? So do a really good Q&A at the end. So that's the perfect webinar. So it's less than $5, right? So grab that, click the button down below and grab that now. And that will go perfectly hand in hand with your trial of WebinarJam and EverWebinar. And what I'll do in the next couple of days, I'm going to do some Q&As. I'd like to offer support. Everyone who's on my list, I want to offer as much free value as I can, as much support as I can. So what I'm doing is I've got a Facebook group that I'm not going to bombard you with that now, because you've got enough things to be getting on with. But in the next couple of days, I'm going to send you a link to join private access to me and to my Facebook group, and everyone in there is doing webinars and Facebook advertising as well. So if it's something you want to get into as well, I'm offering lots of free live training on that as well. So make sure you come in on that, and I'll send you that link in a couple of days. So good luck with this. I really want to hear your success stories, so let me know in the Facebook group how you get on with it, and I'll speak to you soon.